Welcome back to Fate Farms, and you can see my Land Pride 8-foot brush hog showed up. Me and that gentleman, we negotiated a time to meet, and he kept his word, brought it out to me, ended up knocking some money off, and for $400 delivered it out to me here to the property. So this is a RCR 2596 Land Pride brush hog. It's pulled behind the tractor. You can see there's the pintle hook right there, and you got 3 gearboxes. So as much as I'd love to hook this thing up and go ripping it out through the field here, try it out, I'm gonna go over and do some maintenance. I already did a few things just so it didn't take so long in this video here, but I'll do a close-up on some of the stuff that I checked here. Took this vent off. You know, make sure there's oil in there. Then here's the fuel plug. I believe it's a 5/16 Allen. For some reason, the center gearbox was a smaller nut, so it was a 19 millimeter. I took this off, checked it, made sure there was oil in there, and then this is the fuel port. You know, long as you take this out and there's a little bit of oil comes out, then you know you have enough oil in the gearbox. And there was enough that come out that I could see that it was good, clean oil. So, you know, this guy purchased this off of someone with a tractor, brand new setup, 50 some hours on the total tractor, so he's not sure how many hours is on this unit, but you could see right through here. If you take this off, I already did it, there was a little bit of oil and stuff come out of there. So this is a 22 millimeter for this vent. For anyone that purchases one of these, why they're different, I don't know. But other than that, you know, it's a 2020 model, 2022 model, he said. I'm going to grease these universals up, make sure everything got good grease, take that apart, grease that, and then we're going to go out in the field and try her out and see how it works. And like always, you always run out of grease. It's always there whenever you finish. You go to start a new machine and it's always empty. So I'll be back. I gotta get a new grease tube. If you guys never switched a grease tube on one of these pneumatic grease guns here, watch closely. Unscrew this. Lay that there. Pull this thing here back here, pulls out. Then you pull this spring-loaded device back. I always make sure that you got a nice little grease seal here. Drop that down like so. Pull this cap here. Everybody does it different here, but then I stick this up through like this. And then I don't tighten it all the way so I can purge the air. And you give it a couple squeezes here. Get the air out, tighten this up. Back in business. So there's a grease fitting inside of there. So you want to make sure you hit all this stuff. Doesn't become such a good deal whenever you blow something up because of you being lazy and not servicing your equipment before you use it. These are actually rubber clutches in here in case you hit something. Instead of it breaking the gearbox, this looks like the weakest link, so it would break something here, and then these grease fittings just probably let it float on the spline. And a little bit of grease on these threads so it's not so hard to get apart next time when you go to service it. I'm not even 100% sure that this is going to be a plug and play for my New Holland Powerstar 75 tractor. I've never owned anything Land Pride, or I'm just assuming this is all universal. So pretty much got all the service and everything done. I'm going to take this one spline apart up here and get some grease on the shaft, and then we're going to get this thing hooked up here shortly. Go for a test ride. Just put a little bit of lube on here. I'll get some good spray lube for this spring-loaded coupler here in the future, but for now, a lot of times these shafts have greasable links. I could see this is something that got damaged. It's not a big deal. It's just a shaft protector. When these things spool up, man, stay away from them. So a lot of people get hurt or killed because you get sucked into this, and it'll take you down in a heartbeat. So I'm just going to pump a little bit of grease on that shaft. Lets it slide freely, so whenever there's movement with the tractor going over humps and stuff, that everything glides so it doesn't bind up and break something. See how smooth everything's moving now. Always have a rag around when you're greasing so you don't make more of a mess. So we're going to push this back, put this spring-loaded coupler back on, and bring the tractor over here and see what we're working with. Like we talked about in that other video, how much easier one of these are to hook up versus 3-point hitch. See, what's nice is they got these sway bar here, so if you're pretty close but not just quite there, you pull that pin and then just slide it over a little bit. There's a little safety chain in case it falls off, it don't get taken off and hurting somebody. So we'll just put that around here. All right, let's go try this thing out. So far, everything seems to be cutting pretty good. Some of the reason why I like a pull behind is because when I cross this track area, I can raise this up so it doesn't dig in like a 3-point hitch one does. Then when I get back down on the other side, I can lower it. So far, I feel like the brush hog's cutting pretty good. I'm gonna see if I can go in a higher gear, because I normally cut in 4th gear with my 3-point hitch one. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for sticking around, checking out my review on the Land Pride 8-foot pull behind versus the Woods 3-point hitch 7-foot brush hog. They're pretty comparable, but there's some pros and cons to each of them. I feel like I can brush hog maybe a little bit faster with a 7-footer, maybe because I'm not spinning as many gearboxes. And this is a 75 horsepower tractor. I believe the PTO is 60 horsepower, 65. The perks to the pull behind is whenever I'm crossing the paths in the low spots where I normally scalp with a 3-point hitch and I have to pull up on the drawbar. This one here, I could just raise the hydraulic cylinder so I'm not hitting the blades off the ground, like crossing the dirt bike track and through some of the gullies. So like anything, you can't have one thing that works perfect. So not sure if I'm gonna keep them both or if I'm gonna sacrifice and go back and forth, but I appreciate you guys watching. Hit the subscribe button, share our videos, we appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.